Okay, welcome to everybody. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think our resource person has joined. Sir Salvan sir, are you here? Are you there, sir? Hello, Professor Prasant Salvar sir. Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
So your voice is clear.
But our resource person has joined or not? I want to confirm this thing. Hello, just a minute. Uh, Sir Salvan sir, am I audible, sir? Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, ji.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to invite Ms. Shikha Urbil to introduce a renowned resource person. Shikha,
Yes, sir. Good evening, everyone. This is Shikha Urmil, and I am here to introduce Dr. Prashant Salwan, our resource person. Dr. Prashant Salwan is the professor of strategy and international business and at the Indian Institute of Management, Indore, India. He is a alumnus of London School of Economics and Political Science, UK, and a British Chevening scholar and a Fulbright scholar. He has approximately 29 years of experience, out of which 20 years in academics and 8 years in industries. He has PhD, Technology Management and Strategy, two postgraduate degrees in Management and International Trade. He has been educated and trained at University of Pune, London School of Economics and Political Science, UK, Harvard Business School, University of Michigan, Rose School of Management, IIMB and IIMC. He has also undergone training and leadership for Higher Education Institute in the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. He teaches subjects namely strategic management, business model, international business, strategic agility and resilience, and multinational management in various management degree programs. Postgraduate program. He has taught in the USA, France, UK, UAE, and India. He also teaches seminar courses in international knowledge networks, international strategic management, and seminar courses in strategic management in the fellow program and management program. He has guided 8 PhD students. He has been invited to talk at Ohio State University, Texas University at Dallas, Wharton School, University of Pennsylvania. He is a regular invite for business model and innovation lectures at Wharton School Center of Advance in Management. He was senior research fellow at Wharton School in 2018. Professor Salwan has provided customized training and consulting to Government of India, state governments, international institutes like World Bank, India, and foreign multinationals. His Fortune Global 1000 ranked client includes RIL, LG, Thomas Cook, Panasonic, Suzuki, Japan, ADAG, ONGC, GAIL, Aditya Birla Group, EIL, IPCA, ICICI Bank, SBI, BEL, etc. He was the lead researcher for the Indian Competitiveness Project, Government of India. He is a World Bank consultant and was lead consultant for the autonomy and strategic planning projects. He is also a consultant for UNDP, MOE, MHRD, MP government, Kerala government, etc.
Yeah.
Dr.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sal,
So thanks a lot, ma'am, for the brief. So yeah, can we start now?
okay, sir.
Yeah, that's fine. So thanks a lot. So nice of you to give us a small brief about me. I'm a simple faculty like you all, so not to worry. Just wanted to know a small brief. So you're doing a specialized FDP on green energy, right? All of
Yes.
you? Yeah. So what is the main goal of this, and why this particular focused MDP you all are focusing on? I want to ask the participants. So that's the main reason. Yeah. Anyone? So I believe there are 60 people here. So anyone would like to say what is the main aim of your doing this FDP, and what are the takeaways you want from my two classes? I'll be taking two classes with you. The first class is introduction class on green energy and sustainability, and the second one we're going to discuss core into areas, smart cities and EVs. Correct. So anyone would like to give a small brief about him or herself and tell me what exactly is the takeaway they want from this particular program? Anyone? You all are from Madhya Pradesh. You are from different part of India.
Yes, sir.
Madhya Pradesh.
All are from Madhya Pradesh.
Yes, sir. Most of them.
No, I'm from Maharashtra, sir, from Pune.
Okay, Nisha, Pune. If you're from which college in Pune?
D.Y. Patil,
Okay,
Ajinkya D.Y. Patil School of University.
okay. Very nice, ma'am. Very nice. Okay. And anyone else from different? So, what is the main aim you want to do this FDP? What is the takeaway you want to have?
Sir, I am from Andhra Pradesh.
Which
I'm
part?
Chandrasekhar, Andhra Pradesh.
Which district? Which university?
I belongs to JNT UK, Kakinada.
So you're from Kakinada.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Mm.
Sir,
Yes,
this is Vinod Verma. I am from Chennai, SRM University.
SRM University. Very good. They do a lot of research, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, good. Very nice. Anyone else would like to say? Hemraj, you're from where?
Sir, I am from Sagar, Madhya Pradesh.
You're from Sagar,
Doctorate
Madhya
in
Pradesh.
University Sagar.
You're, so you all are professors, or you're doing PhD also?
Sir, I am a research scholar.
Okay. So you're all are work, I mean, all of you are working on green energy, energy sustainability. In which all areas you are working on?
Sir, my area is EdTech learning platform.
Okay. Okay. Uh, Jomit, what you are doing? You are translating something? Okay, fine, no problem. So let's start. So actually, you can only see me. I can't see you because only faces are there. But main issue with here is in IMs when we talk. Uh, One thing which comes here is it is interaction, correct? It cannot be one way. So I request the authorities to give me the right for presentation. So I'll start the presentation, uh, and then and it will be interaction. So as professors, what we'll do here is we will do have a small quiz before we start the session, right? Are you all ready for a small quiz or no?
Yeah, ready, sir.
Yes,
Ready
sir.
for a small quiz? Okay, fine, no problem. So I believe there are 71. How many are total registered for this FDP?
Sir, we have 153 participants registered for this FDB, sir.
So only 50% have joined. Huh?
Yes. So they will
No
join during the sessions
In between.
in between.
Okay, no problem. So let's start. So what I'm going to do here is, can I share the screen? I have the right to share the screen,
Yes, 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 sir.
but why this locks in? That's the only issue here. Let me check. I'll just share the screen. We'll start the presentation. I'm hoping to have a very good interactive presentation. Okay,
Yes.
because we discuss. So lastly, in professor, we say what we want to take students from basic remembering.
Sir, you are not audible. Salwan, sir? मेरी आवाज आ रही सबको? Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir, you audible.
Yes, sir.
क्या हो गया? मुझे कॉल करना पड़ेगा सर. Some technical issue arises from our resource person side. They will join in just 2 to 3 minutes. Sir will join us after 2 3 minutes. Don't worry, everyone.
डालो जो डालो नहीं तो जो छोड़ दो तो कछु काम को नहीं. चलो चार्ज है ये.
So let's start now. I believe there was a problem in connection. Just a minute. So let's start. What we're going to do here is we will start the main presentation, and then we are going to discuss multiple activities here. So let me start with a very simple question to you all. You all discussed about sustainability, right? So are you able to see my presentation, green energy and sustainability? Are you able to see that?
Yes.
And hope it is full screen. You're able to see the full screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the main topic of today here is green energy and sustainable development. So we are going to discuss about what do we mean by green energy and what do we mean by sustainable development. So I have a very simple question to you here is, now, is this both word green energy and sustainable development similar, or there's a difference between these two words? What do you mean by green energy and what do you mean by sustainable development? Anyone who would like to start?
I think green energy is the way to sustainable development.
Okay, is the way for fine for sustainable development. Okay, fine. Anybody else wants to answer something of it in this?
May I?
Yes.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Please.
Sir, it
Green
is similar.
energy means getting the energy from cleaner sources, renewable sources like solar, wind, biofuel.
Excellent. Excellent. So that's one of the issue thing. And but then sustainable is also the same, right?
Sustainability is rather what we can have forever, which will not deplete, which will not get over. I
Okay.
guess it should be like that, sustainable development. So it should not be like the cycle, biocycle
Sir,
which completes.
green
This
energy is
also should
similar
get
to
complete, not stop in between. Just like
Okay.
our pollution, that is the plastics and all, they are not biodegradable. So
Sure.
the cycle does not complete. Something like
Yes,
that.
but yeah, I agree with you. And in the next session, I'll be discussing that how they use even plastic for developing sustainable buildings. So a lot of interesting things we're going to discuss here. See, the main issue here is, please understand something very clearly. First, and the most critical part comes here is when you look at, see, I worked with a lot of industries. One of the industries I worked was automobile industry. So when I was working with that industry, a lot of pressure was coming to that industry. So everybody said, why so much pressure is coming to that particular industry? The main reason here is, other than production, that industry gives maximum carbon dioxide to the environment. And due to carbon dioxide, which generates in the environment, can you tell me how the reaction takes place? Why your weather is changing, your even agriculture cycles are changing, production is reducing. So how does carbon dioxide is affecting this?
Sir, carbon dioxide increases the greenhouse effect.
So what is the greenhouse effect? Very good point, ma'am. Very nice. What is the greenhouse effect?
Sir, the temperature of Earth rises due to greenhouse effect.
Excellent. But why does it rise?
Uh,
Because there is a thin flare which is formed,
yes, sir, the
which doesn't
ozone layer.
allow, yeah, to circulate, correct?
Yes, sir.
So what happens here is that the reason they are saying, when you look at, see now, what was the population earlier, what is the population today, there's a huge difference, correct? Nobody thought once upon a time we were few millions, then 1 billion. If you look at the last century, which took place, the 19th century, the growth in those 100 years which has happened is actually double what had happened even last 1000 years. Many people say that was the reason because we had antibiotics, we had good working system, clean water, whatever you talk about, that the reason the population has increased. But and due to population increases, consumption also increases. If consumption increases, many industries they need to produce. People need to travel from one part to another part, and if that thing continuously happens, automatically the energy is consumed. Like you must have heard about carbon footprint. Even the daily you're walking itself, there's a carbon emission which takes place. By doing that, what happens? The environment gets directly affected, and our environment, which is our where there are different layers in the environment, and it really helps us to bind enough in the sense that it doesn't allow, in a sense, helping us to maintain the temperature. Because just remember one very simple activity: everything is an ecosystem. If 1 degree temperature, see in 2004, the biggest issue came here is by 2015, if automobile industry reduces its CO2 cube emission from 300 to 153 CO2 emission, then only the thing would be stable. Now what is going to happen? The earth temperature is going to rise by 1 degree centigrade. If it rises by 1 degree centigrade, the honeybees are going to die. Automatically, the whole production process, environment, everything is going to take place. 2004 onward, this all activity came out here. And that's the reason they are saying that by 2030, the projected population of the global population will be 60 billion. Can we just imagine from few millions in just 100 years? Just imagine 60 billion is the population, 69 billion future growth, anticipated population by 2050. You can imagine where the earth is going to go. So that's the reason people say the global energy challenge here is to manage the growing population. There's no dispute that the energy consumption is critical to industrial sector growth and human welfare improvement. Nothing wrong in increasing population, but we should develop or produce those goods as well as stay in those houses and travel from one part to another part in a sustainable manner. That's the basic activity we mentioned. Because as population increases, what is going to happen? You require more manufacturing items, excessive energy usage, resulting from continuous demand for human resource, contributing to a worldwide environment crisis. And that's the reason the United Nations has mentioned something very interesting that by 60 billion by 2030 and 69 billion by 2050, because of the rapid growth, it is essential to take necessary measures to preserve ecological balance while maintaining economic development rates. So there are two things which we have to manage here in whatever field you are in. You are from technology field. Say, I also work with data centers. Now, the biggest interesting part comes there is massive energy is consumed when you use data centers. So, sustainability in data centers. So I'll be sharing with you in my next sessions, the day after tomorrow, when I'm going to take that session with you, where these all issues I'm going to discuss, like green buildings, correct, EV, all those very beautiful activities I'm going to discuss there with you. So they say economic development should happen. Please focus on economic development. There's nothing wrong about it. But parallelly, you have to have economic ecological balance, because if ecological balance is, it will not give any results, right? So you must have seen the floods happening. You are seeing the agriculture cycles have been changing continuously. So all of these are very, very funny things which are coming in the line. We need to really take care into it. So this gave that particular word which you are currently seeing is called global energy challenge. We sitting in India, you are sitting in a beautiful place called Sagar, correct? Somebody is in Kakinada, other places. You don't currently feel the changes which are happening. But just notice, if you ask somebody, like for example, I'm currently in Indore, you will be very astonished that in 2005, when I was in London School of Economics, I was earlier Deputy Secretary Government of India. I resigned from there and joined, went to LSE for my further studies, and then I came back to India and joined IIM Indore as a faculty. That time, people used to say that in Indore, even in late 90s, there used to be no fans because Indore weather was very good. It's a plateau. But 2005, they're saying, oh no, I'm using more fans. Now today, if I say the place where I stay, everybody is having ACs in the room. So the temperature is changing left, right, and center. There's no doubt about it. Our parents, we never used to use fan. They were never required to use fan. If we started using fans, our children started using ACs, right? So the things are changing, and those consumer electronics companies are making money, but the type of energy consumption, the type of the carbon dioxide emission which is increasing is tremendous. I hope we don't convert towards what is happening in Hong Kong, that you require another AC to cool the AC which you are currently being used, correct? So there's a very funny thing happening. But the question here is, if you go to Bombay, correct, if you go to Delhi, the pollution which currently, there are multiple reasons for pollution in Delhi. One of the reason is the carbon emissions, especially by the driving of vehicles, multiple vehicles which are there. So these are the things which multiplies the problem. So even if you have good amount of wealth, but still you are not able to manage things, right? So how to do this? So to do this, there is something called a green energy imperative. So one thing which has come out very strongly was green energy is frequently associated with sustainable development, and there are SDG goals. I don't want to go to basic 17 SDG goals and or HDI goals, but you know that very well. What do you mean by sustainable development and SDG goals, which seeks to reduce global warming and its adverse effect on the environment, economy, and social justice. Because one more thing also, you have to understand that diversity and connectivity is very much important. Like the case which you saw in Aravali range, correct, in Delhi. What is the case? So somebody can tell me what is the case of Aravali ranges which is happening, and Supreme Court had to change the definition. Anyone knows that or no?
A little about it, sir. It is being the hills which are less than 100 meters or so, they are being cut off like sand mining and
The
we,
mountains are one of the oldest places, right? So they may have
yes,
fossils also. They have a huge and huge elements also, right?
yes,
The question here is, if you break them, the whole cycle is going to change, because they are
yes,
helping us to remain green and rain in those regions. If the Aravalli ranges are not there,
yes,
the desert will going to shift here. So
Yes,
India
sir.
will be desert oriented. Aravalli ranges are helping us not to be desert. If you see the difference behind Aravalli range and after Aravalli range, there's a huge difference, correct? Because it helps the moisture to contain and the rain to fall. So a lot of things are happening. Second is, if you look at in various forests which are happening, forests remain to be same in the same particular manner. So there's something called environment, economic, and social justice. You have to take care of people, you have to take care of animals, you have to take care of multiple activities together. And the natural resource found on Earth support human needs and life, including material like stone, sand, glass, coal, air, sunshine, soil, and water, whatever you talk about. So there's a key distinction. Distinction is through green energy and renewable energy are frequently employed synonymously. They have one key difference. Some alternative energy sources are not green, even though most renewable energy sources are environmental friendly. Like solar and wind power are organically replenished continually. Infrastructure construction may result in carbon emission, and true green energy has minimum environmental impact. Now, to understand the first definition, what do you mean by green energy and renewable energy? They both are actually different. Let us play a small quiz. So we are going to play a small quiz. So uh, let us look at this. This link I'm going to share with you a little later. But you can just go here and so let's start with a small quiz. All are ready? You are able to see this, the Tata Power's link?
Yes,
Hello,
sir.
are you? Yeah. Now let me start with the first question. What is the difference between renewable and sustainable energy? Give me out of these four, which one should I click? Renewable energy is always sustainable. Sustainability energy focuses on long-term environmental health. Renewable energy does not reduce emission. Sustainability energy comes only from wind and solar. Tell me which one is true.
So second one.
Energy focuses on long-term environmental health.
But sometimes you just mentioned, we just mentioned renewable energy when in the session I started is sustainable,
Yes.
right? So this should be
First
true.
one,
No?
sir. First one,
Yes,
sir.
first one, sorry.
It's true, huh?
Yes.
Think
First one, sir,
again.
is true.
Renewable
It's true.
energy
Okay.
is also sustainable.
No, and yeah, and this sustainable energy focuses on long-term environmental health. Is it true or false?
True, sir. True.
Sir, because on the prima facie it looks true, but the
Huh.
equipment that we use, like say wind turbines, its life is 25 years. So what about the wind turbine after 25 years? The solar panels life is 25, 30 years. What about the panels after 25, 30 years? We manufacture wind turbines, but then there is a lot of metals being used, paint being used, and the concrete being used for the foundation, etc. So
Okay.
what about all those damage to the environment?
Sure. So which one should I click? And if you look at, if you are saying number one, renewable energy is always sustainable, then renewable energy does not reduce emission. So out of these two, only one is true, right? And sustainable energy comes only from wind and solar power. So what do you think? Out of these four, which one should I click? If you look at the definition, renewable energy means renewable energy is the power generated from natural resources like sun, wind, water, biomass that naturally replenish and are virtually limitless. Correct? So you look at solar, you look at wind power, hydropower, biomass, waste to energy, thermal, tidal, green energy. But what is sustainable energy? Sustainable is meets the need of the present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their integrated environmental care, social equity, and economic growth. There's a huge difference between renewable energy and sustainable energy. Sustainable energy says that it meets the need of the present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their integrating environmental care, social equity, and economic growth. Now, if you look at very carefully, there are benefits are really awesome because it goes beyond renewable sources of promoting energy efficiency, affordability, and universal assets. But the main issue here is if you look at various examples in India, sustainable energy means growing clean source such as solar, wind, hydro, and making sure that they serve all communities. It cuts harmful emission, create local jobs, and support fair development. So the issue here is if you look at something more activity here, just a basic definition of these two. If I click this one and put submit, correct? Sustainable energy focuses on long-term environmental health. So the difference between renewable and sustainable here is sustainable is long-term environmental health. Look at this next question which I'm asking you. The next question here is, Which of the following is a renewable source of energy? Coal, solar, natural gas, or nuclear?
Solar.
Okay, anybody else? Anyone else wants to guess?
Sir, solar.
Sir, solar.
Well, not natural gas. It is also naturally available, no?
But is it renewable? Can we get it forever?
Okay. So, correct? So you're correct. Let us look at the third question. Why is sustainable energy important for future generation? Is it cheaper than fossil fuel? It helps preserve resources and environment. It has no impact on climate change, and it uses more water than traditional energy sources.
Sir, option B can be correct. It helps preserve resource and the environment.
Okay. Anybody else wants to add?
Yes, sir, same. It helps to preserve the resources and the environment.
Option B, sir.
So correct. So then, which country has the goal of reaching 500 gigawatt of renewable energy capacity by 2030?
India.
Now this- correct. And we are proactive. Now, I don't know after Trump doing things, what is going to happen, but that's fine. What is the one example of sustainable energy practice? Using coal for energy generation, expanding the use of renewable sources like solar and wind, cutting down forest and energy
Answer
needs.
B. Option B, sir.
Expanding the use of renewable.
Option B.
Correct. So expand the use of renewable sources like solar and wind. Okay. Now, why I'm telling you this here is there's a huge difference when you look at something called as the key distinction between green versus renewable. Means green energy is nothing but sustainable energy. So to understand that, green energy, if you define it, green energy refers, you can see my presentation. Is it clear now? Full screen you're able to
Yes,
see?
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the green energy refers to clean sources of energy that generate significant lower environmental impact relative to conventional fossil fuel based energy technologies. Unlike traditional energy systems that release substantial greenhouse gas emission, green energy harness natural renewable sources including solar radiation, wind power, hydroelectric potential, geothermal heat, and biomass resources. So these are the few things which comes under something called green energy, because you harness natural renewable sources, and like you answered one question called solar, it comes into that, wind comes to that. But yes, there's a question about what will you do after that life cycle of wind energy. You have still metal there, correct? So, but we'll be discussing in the next session. That is, we define a circular economy. We don't have that session on that, but I'll see, if time permits, I'm going to share that with you. Now, second here is the main strategic context. If you look at very carefully, the concept has evolved from an environmental aspiration to a strategic imperative for sustainable energy formation globally. Earlier, people used to say that it is just a small environmental aspiration for anyone to do it. But to be really frank, now it has become a strategic imperative for sustainable energy formation globally. Without that, it is not possible to develop or to grow. Now, for example, you must have heard a company called Ferrari. Ferrari, you've heard the name Ferrari, right?
Yes, sir.
You have
Yes.
nice vehicle, right? Ferrari, you must have gone to Abu Dhabi for the Ferrari World and traveled, right?
Yes, sir.
Now the issue arises here is if you look at carefully, Ferrari is saying by 2030, I will be carbon neutral. Now Ferrari is run by petrol. It is huge sound, correct? Lot of carbon dioxide emission is released. Then how can we be carbon neutral? So it can only be carbon neutral when it doesn't use something called as fuel, correct? So it has to go for EV, and the sound has to be zero. So people only buy Ferrari because it is very high speed and nice sound it comes, right? So, but now they have to convert because European Union has given a law stating that no, all product has to be carbon neutral by 2030. So it becomes not only something called as environmental aspiration, but actually it becomes a strategic imperative for all the firms to implement something called as green or something called as sustainability. Like I'll give you one paper has been published in International Journal of Banking. It's an A rank journal. In that we have discussed about greenwashing in banks. So we were doing a small study. We did a study comparing Indian public sector banks, Indian private sector banks, and multinational banks in India, and their orientation towards greenwashing. Now, if I ask, can you, hello? Yeah, somebody has a question? Okay. Well, let me ask you a very simple question. Uh, Out of these three sample which we selected, like Indian public sector banks, Indian private banks, and multinational banks in India, out of these three sets, which of those sets must be doing greenwashing, which will not be doing greenwashing? Greenwashing is showing falsely that they are implementing green energy. Out of these sets, which one of them were not doing greenwashing? Anyone?
Public sector banks.
Which one?
Public not doing greenwashing. Right?
No, which one? Which one is not doing greenwashing? Which one is doing greenwashing? Multinational banks in India?
Greenwashing is not doing clean energy, right? That way.
Which one is showing that they're doing green, but they are actually not doing green? Greenwashing is showing that you are doing some environmental aspiration, but it is not a part of your strategic imperative. You are just showing that you are doing green.
Okay.
Out of these three groups, which one must be doing greenwashing and which one seriously must be implementing green energy in their all operations?
I guess MNCs.
You are true, but why? Why not Indian public sector banks or Indian private companies?
So MNCs, they are spread all over the world, and they might get away by saying something. We are not going to go there and verify it.
No. Issue here was the multinational companies were not implementing greenwashing. They were actually seriously implementing green energy in banks in India. The reason was if they do anything wrong in India, they'll be caught in Europe. Because in Europe, the law is very stringent regarding green energy utilization in banks, even not necessarily in their own country, but wherever the company is. But Indian public sector and private companies, to be really frank, they were not doing proper implementation of green energy in their banks. They were showing they are doing, but they are actually not doing. They are doing greenwashing because we don't have stringent law for implementation. Because we are still thinking as an environmental aspiration, not as a strategy. Green energy, when you look at very carefully in implementation, it has to be a strategic imperative, which began as a niche considering 3 decades ago, has transformed into a central pillar of international climate policy and economic development strategy, gaining unprecedented momentum in recent years as nations confront the realities of climate change. So like what happened, so the serious things are getting very, very serious, and now government Reserve Bank of India is going to launch a very strong activity that all banks in India has to implement something called green energy system, and should not do greenwashing because they're going to charge hefty amount on greenwashing if you do that. So we are also implementing the same Euro norms. Like for example, in automobile, we implemented the Bharat norms, correct? In 2004, 2005. Bharat norms are nothing but Euro norms in implementation. Because what the norms are there in Europe, we will also try to implement in automobile in India. So this really is changing across the world, and rule and regulation are coming across. So it is imperative for all companies, all industries to have a strategic imperative, not only an environmental aspiration. So one thing here is, if you look at natural renewable energy, inexhaustible sources that regenerate continuously without depletion. So that comes under green, environmental friendly, minimum pollution and ecosystem disruption during generation, and sustainable long term, capable of meeting present needs without compromising future generation. Like we were just analyzing one Prime Minister's awards, and in Northeast, in one particular state, they use bamboo stick to transform water, especially in hilly areas. and they use simple water principles. There's no electricity utilization there. It's purely green agriculture without using any pumps, no carbon dioxide emission, no plastics, pure bamboo which is available, and you're doing agriculture. Awesome! It got the Prime Minister Golden Award. So these are the, and this is a long history we had. We are using it for a long time. Correct. So these are the things which really helps you to dig in, because sustainable long term, capable of meeting present needs without compromising the future generation. So please remember this sentence very clearly, especially when you are discussing with your students in the class. It is very difficult for people to differentiate between green energy, renewable energy, sustainable energy. Correct. Green energy is nothing but sustainable energy, but renewable necessarily cannot mean that it is green or sustainable, because the main definition comes here is capable of meeting present needs without compromising the future generation. So the key insight, if you look at, sustainability researchers have increasingly utilized the green energy framework to explain multi-dimensional aspect of sustainable development, exploring innovative pathway for addressing contemporary environmental challenges. So, and we are going to discuss some cases here, so where how the whole implementation practice take place. So till now, hope you are very clear about when we are discussing something called about what is green energy, what is sustainable energy, and what is renewable energy. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now what we're going to do here is, now many people earlier used to think that why this fossil fuel crisis are going to come into place. One thing you have to understand something very importantly. So in recent news also, like people say Trump has taken over Venezuela because Venezuela has the highest oil reserves. How many of you knew this before takeover of takeover of Venezuela? Till yesterday, how many of you knew this part, that Venezuela had the largest oil reserves, even larger than Saudi Arabia?
Yes, sir.
How many of you knew? You knew? You knew it before that, ma'am?
Not
Because
before
when
that,
people
sir. I came to know about it today only when I was going through
yeah,
news.
yeah, majority of you will only know, must have known it yesterday, because nobody would have heard a name called Venezuela having oil, correct? You all must have heard about Saudi Arabia had the maximum amount of oil. Well, it is the Venezuela has the highest amount of oil. And then it comes Saudi, and then the others and things like that. So, but the interesting, but now what is going to happen? The fossil fuel prices have really gone up very high. Contemporary society faces an unprecedented energy paradox. While fossil fuel, coal, oil, natural gas have powered industrial advancement, Industry 1, what was Industry 1? Who will tell me? This is 4.0, right? Industry 4.0 started from 2008 onwards. So what is Industry 1? What happened in Industry 1? Industrial Revolution 1 was what? Industrial Revolution 1 was what?
Textile and locomotives.
No, locomotive was industrial.
Steam engines.
It was steam engine, and steam engine gets energy through
Water.
Coal.
Coal.
coal. Correct. So that is the first fossil fuel which was used to power, and the first industrial revolution was steam engine, and they used coal. Then Industry 2.0 was nothing but automobile, which gave lot of consumption of oil. And due to that, there's a very nice story about how automobile grew and how they did sustainability. So if time permits, I'm going to show you that also, a very, very small video, but very excellent one. So oil consumption started. Initially was coal, Industry 1, then Industry 2, it was oil. Then Industry 3, where IT industry generated and consumer electronics start to come into place. So small manufacturing was started by natural gas. And then Industry 4, 2008 onwards, was nothing but electricity, huge electricity utilization. So maybe hydro, maybe thermal, maybe nuclear, maybe solar, whatever you talk about. So a lot of electricity generation took place. So these industrial advancement and economic prosperity over a century and their continued dominance threatened the very foundation of human civilization and environmental stability. So, like for example, we went for a review to one of the IMs, which is in one part in one particular state. When I landed from the airport, everything was dark. And when I drove down to the campus is beautiful, beautiful campus. But it took 1.5 hours for me to reach that particular campus. But when I crossed from the airport to the campus, it was totally dark because a lot of construction was happening. Lot of mining activities. One of the largest steel mills are there. Cement production mills are there. So you can imagine if industrialization increases, but look at what happens to human civilization. They all have lung problem, correct, breathing problem. The height is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Correct, lot of issues and activities are taking into place. So Industrial Revolution 1 to Industrial Revolution 4.0, the whole growth is happening. Nothing wrong. Excellent. It has to grow. But it has to grow to sustainability because the problem is going to multiply if you don't implement sustainability. So that's the reason we say the very foundation of human civilization and environmental sustainability. The energy sector alone accounts for approximately 2/3 of all the global greenhouse emission gas, with carbon dioxide representing roughly 55% of the global greenhouse emission. So if you look at something interestingly, fossil fuel dependency, 80% portion of the future primary energy demand projected to be met by non-renewable sources. And I'm really scared this war has really make us go back to oil, and that will result in a lot of problems. Second is 90% is emission share, percentage of total energy related to CO2 emission attributed to fossil fuel combination. And 30 billion annual tons of CO2 emission from fossil fuel burning entering atmosphere yearly. And 6.4% temperature risk, potential global temperature increase by 2100 under AD under the current trajectory. Now you don't have to worry till 2100, because if the world temperature increases by 1.5% itself, then we don't have to sit here, right? We won't be here as a human beings. It will just take 1 year to wipe out the whole human species. So you don't have to wait for the world temperature to reach 6.4 degrees centigrade. Even 1.5% increase, already increased by 5%. Only 1% is left. If one degree increases, not 1%, 1 degree. If 1 degree increases, then we are also gone, right? So this is the biggest threat we are facing, and I really don't know that what is going to happen. But that it's a scary picture, right? Do you think this is a scary picture? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So
Yes, sir.
like we were doing a review. I was a member of NAC also. I was the executive committee member of NAC. I was a higher power committee of member of UGC. I was also my member committee for the higher education committee, which has been formed. In February, the government is going to give the budget, so everything is going to combine there. One of the very interesting findings are there. After 10 years, MBA will be irrelevant, right? You must have noticed that all IIMs have started undergraduate degree, right? IIM Indore was the first IIM to start undergraduate degree. Correct? Do you know this or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but why IIMs were postgraduate degree? Why they have started undergraduate degrees? Any idea? Any input from your side?
So they have started the integrated program, right? From graduate to masters then.
Integrated is one. Now they are independent graduate degrees. No integrated, no integrated 5 years one. It is there. Few IIMs have there. IIM Indore was the first one to start integrated IPM. But all other IIMs have started now, or 3 IIMs started integrated IPM, but now they have started undergraduate degrees also.
Example is IIM Bangalore, sir. As I know, IIM Bangalore has started undergraduate courses.
Yes. Bangalore has started. IIM Sambalpur has started. IIM Indore has started in Bombay. We are going to start this year. IIM Udaipur is going to start now. IIM Rohtak has joined. Everybody is doing undergraduate thing. But why we are doing it? And that also 4 years with AI, ML, all things combining. Why?
Directly they can enter into MBA without entrance exam. That may be one reason, sir.
No, not MBA with that is integrated. Why they are doing it? Because industry now wants a skilled people who are skilled, has knowledge of the subject, but very skilled, which can be upgraded. And so the person stays with the company longer. And that's the reason the undergraduate degrees are becoming the biggest spot for all MBA schools, because MBA is slowly going to shift in India towards executive education, like what happens in UK. UK says they only recognize those MBA who have minimum 2 years experience and 1 year degree. So things are changing, like education is changing, industrialization is also changing, and we need to keep on upgrading on the various things happening for sustainability. So these numbers are a little scary, but the another issue here is the cascading environment impacts is very huge. The relentless combination of fossil fuels has triggered a cascade of environmental crises that extend far beyond simple atmospheric warming, like rising sea levels, threatening coastal population with projection indicating increases by 16.5 to 15.8 centimeter by century's end, melting polar ice sheets and glacier accelerating this process while simultaneously disrupting global ocean circulation patterns. Extreme weather events, intensified storms, prolonged drought, devastating floods have become new norm, imposing massive economic cost and human suffering. Like last year in 2025, you must have seen floods in Rajasthan. Have you ever seen flood in Rajasthan and Gujarat? Jaisalmer is having floods, which is nothing but pure desert. So things are really changing. And if you look at the economic growth paradox, comparing with cascading environmental impact, a fundamental challenge emerged from the strong positive correlation between economic growth and energy consumption. In 2017, global energy demand increased by 2.1% alongside economic growth of 3.7%. So if economic growth grows by 3.7%, the energy demand increased by 2.1%, with fossil fuel capturing 81% of incremental demand. And this resulted in energy related CO2 emission growth by 1.4%, equivalent to 460 million tons of CO2 emission. Developing nations pursuing legitimate development aspiration face particularly pressure as they currently account for 52% of annual energy related emission and project to drive 90% of the future consumption growth. So, this is one international panel of climate change mentioned that without proper commitment and urgent action to control fossil fuel coal energy use, CO2 emissions will be released into atmosphere at an unprecedented rate, leading to a strong long-term effect that are already escalating at the present time. So, very interesting way of looking at this whole activity. So, economic growth is going to happen, population is going to increase, uh, uh, industrial growth increases, energy consumption is going to increase. In that energy, 81% is nothing but due to CO2 emissions, energy related CO2 emission growth, and which is going to grow more and more. So, that is going to be a huge problem. That's the reason the people say green energy is only the potential transformative potential thing to stop this cascading. If this century end 2100 he mentioned, we are in 2026, correct? Forget about 2010, 2100. Even I told you 1 degree temperature increases, we all are going to go in within 1 year's time. This thing is going to grow. So people say, will we still survive till 2035? There's a big question, right? So how to solve it? So we have COP 26, 27. Government of India has rules. Developed country, Europe is doing very excellent work on this thing, but US still has not done. The highest, one of the highest emitter of CO2 is US, and China. I hope things changes fast, but we don't know. So they say the promise of green energy is transformative potential thing is going to come. So green energy represent humanity's most promising pathway towards reconciling energy security with environmental stewardship. Unlike finite fossil fuel reserve concentrated in geopolitically sensitive regions, which you have seen, right? Wherever oil is there, now give me the name of one single country which has oil and which is peaceful. Give me a name of a single country which has huge amount of oil and which is peaceful. in top 10 countries, anyone which is peaceful? Think carefully
No,
and
sir,
answer.
there aren't any.
There are no one. That's
I,
what we say.
yes.
It's there's no. So it's
Sir,
very
I said
open to
there
mind.
aren't any. Sir, I said there aren't any.
There aren't
Everyone is
any.
at conflict.
Biggest gold reserve is in Africa and in Venezuela. They both are gone.
Yes, yes, sir.
Correct.
Because
So
recently, US arrested Venezuela's president.
yeah. So that's what we say, na, that so this is finite fossil fuels everybody is fighting for. Geopolitical
Yes, sir.
sensitive region, they all are there, and renewable energy
Yes.
sources are distributed broadly across the planet and regenerate continuously through natural process. Like solar radiation baths every corner of Earth, wind patterns circulate globally, rivers flow perpetuity, geothermal heat emanates from the planet's core, and biomass grows through photosynthesis in an endless cycle. So these are the things which we need to capture, like solar energy. Photovoltaic and thermal technology convert abundant sunlight into electricity that heat with zero emission. Wind power harness atmospheric circulation to generate clean electricity at an increasing competitive cost. Hydroelectric captures gravitational energy of growing water for reliable, dispatchable, renewable generation. And then geothermal taps earth internal heat for broad load electricity and direct heating applications. So these are the four things which we need to focus on: solar energy, wind power, hydroelectric, and geothermal. So these are the things. So I know I made you scared a lot, but that is what is the truth. So that's the reason I wanted you to understand. Very important part. This one is very, very important part. So it's you don't have to wait till 4.6.4 degrees centigrade increase. You have to just look at next 10 years what is going to happen. And that's the reason the one somebody is from Bangalore, right? Yeah. And somebody Pune. Pune also once upon a time used to be a retirement capital. Now look at the growth of Pune from Hinjewadi to Pashan to Girigaon. Everything has increased like hell. Yeah. Uh, if you look at it used to be a peaceful capital. Bangalore used to, I still remember, Bangalore used to be such a nice place to be there, but now it's so dangerous. And people are paying crores and crores of rupees to stay outside Bangalore, very far, where you are staying in a farm. But till how much time the farm will be safe, we don't know. So, but yes, so we have to be very careful. You'll be really astonished. One of my students, he's in Australia. He's an Australian citizen. So he called me once, "Ki, sir, I'm coming to India." I said, "Okay, fine, please come." So he said, "Sir, we have." I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm in construction. We are constructing very huge townships." I said, "Okay, very nice. So, which cities are you going?" "Sir, Pune, Hyderabad, and Bangalore." I said, "Why are you going to these three cities?" And because already the land prices are very high. He said, "No, we are not in the cities. We are outside the cities. We are creating clean air. We are going to put good trees and things like that, and they can stay there till their life. The thing will be there with them. After that, somebody else can come and stay with them." So he had two business models to work it out. I said, "Why you decided to do that?" Then he mentioned the richness of the people and the environment where they are staying. So rich people don't mind shifting to those. So again, I remember one thing, that the village life is the best, right? You cultivate your own thing, organic vegetables, stay in the clean air and environment, and be staple, right? But in cities also we can only bring it when we have green energy. So one thing which comes out here is the comprehensive benefits of a sustainable development here is environmental protection. Green energy system produces dramatically lower life cycle emissions compared to fossil fuels. Non-combustion based technology generate electricity with virtually zero air pollution, protecting human health and ecosystem from toxic particulate, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxides, and mercury contamination. Then energy security, one of the most critical part. India is now in a very cross thing, that we have a huge problem of energy security, because we are 80% of oil is imported, correct? So diversify now. Look, EV batteries we have started developing now, but the raw materials are coming from outside. So diversifying energy portfolios with domestic renewable resources reduces dependence on imported fossil fuels, enhancing national energy independence. The distributed nature of renewables provide resilience against supply disruption and price volatility in international energy markets. Then economic opportunity, renewable energy transition creates millions of new jobs in manufacturing, installation, maintenance, innovation. The recent billionaires in India are those who have invested into renewable energy. So big plants like Haldiram also has expanded into solar energy, correct? So you can imagine how much, and a lot of IPOs in October and November month actually came from renewable energy. Local communities benefit from energy production previously concentrated in distant extracted site, enabling economic decentralization and rural development. So this economic decentralization, rural development has actually developed because due to utilization of green energy. So to do that, anybody wants to give any example under these three heads? You all have experience somewhere. Anyone?
So may I?
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
Good evening, sir. This is Dr. Shikha Singh. Sir, I belong from Chhattisgarh. And recently, 2-3 days back only, I went to the forest area of Chhattisgarh. And there I saw a guest house, forest guest house, which was built in 1913. So that guest house was totally lightened up with the solar powers, because it's
Wow.
quite difficult to have an electricity poles and wires. So the forest department is basically using the solar panels to light up that such an old guest house.
Oh, seriously? That's
Yes, sir.
nice.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's nice. Anybody else wants to wants to add? Anyone else? Any one example, or you read it from somewhere? Anyone? No? Okay. Any comments? Because
In
you're
terms
all
of,
professors, right?
sorry.
Yeah, anyone under environmental protection, energy security, or economic opportunity, anything.
May I?
Yeah, sure.
So in economic opportunity, there's this new term coming up, which is called green marketing. So basically, you try to make those products and you try to market their sustainable side. How is this product going to be sustainable? What materials are they using that is not going to harm the environment? So I think that's the trend that is going to continue in the next coming years.
Okay, that way you're saying. Okay, fine. Yeah, that's true. So if you look at carefully, there are a lot of things happening. Now, if you look at why I'm mentioning to you this, because green energy and sustainable development we have to bring them together, the critical nexus. So you know what is green energy now? You know what is sustainable development? Sustainable development is even your future generation is going to use that. So when you combine this green energy and sustainable development, one thing comes out here is defining sustainable development. The concept of sustainable development through sometime elusive and precise definition, but people have defined it. So there was one 1984 very famous report which said that development that meets the need of the present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. This was taken in 1987 definition, which was then implemented by United Nations Social Sustainable Development Goals (HDI) as well as COEP. COEP, when it's formed, India is a very big member of that. 2000 COP 28 has already happened. In that case, they have used this definition of sustainable development, that development that meets the need of the present without compromising the ability to future generation to meet their own needs. So this deceptively simple formation encompasses profound implication of how humanity approaches economic progress, social equity, and environmental stewardship simultaneously. Because what we have to do here is we have to have all these things simultaneously. So now, how you can have these things? So that's why they said there are 3 pillars of sustainability. One is sustainable development integrates three interdependent dimensions that must be advanced together rather than in isolation. So when I'll be sharing with you the Niti Aayog report also, there are a few documents I'll be sharing with you, wherein they mention about EU grid, correct? All those activities I'm going to discuss with you, because you have to think that into an ecosystem part. Like in the next session, I'll be discussing with you when Honorable Finance Minister in 2022, she announced something very interesting. She said, every 200 kilometers, there'll be a charging station. Now, what must have happened to the sale of EV vehicles in 2022-23? In February of 2022, Honorable Finance Minister, she mentioned this. COVID was getting close, so effect came in financial year 2023. So because development of infrastructure took some time. So what must have happened to the sale of EV compared to 2022-23 versus 23-24? How much percent increase or decrease? Anyone?
Increase in sale of EV because of
In 1 year,
charging.
even if the vehicle was costlier than the normal vehicle.
Yes.
But yes, maintenance cost was less. So that's the reason we say here is you have to look at it from the ecosystem perspective. Economic sustainable ensures productivity system generated prosperity without depleting the resource base. Environmental sustainability maintains ecosystem integrity and biodiversity while staying within planetary boundaries. Social sustainable promotes equitable distribution of benefits, human well-being, and social cohesion. Energy system profoundly influence all three dimensions, making green energy central to achieving integrated sustainable objectives. Now, what are these? So the first, you have to understand the pillars very carefully. Now, if you look at this part, first one, so we integrate three independent dimensions that must be advanced together, like economic sustainability, ensures productive system generate prosperity without depleting resource base. Environmental and sustainable maintains ecosystem integrity and biodiversity while staying within planetary boundaries. And social sustainability promotes equitable distribution of benefit, human well-being, social cohesion. An energy system profoundly influences all three dimensions, making green energy central to achieving integrated sustainable objective. Means what? Economic sustainability, environmental sustainability, and social sustainability. These three are the basic pillars to reach the energy system profoundly sustainability. So the three pillars of sustainability is economic sustainability, environmental sustainability, and social sustainability. How do I combine them? If you look at carefully, economic sustainability means maintaining productive capacity while ensuring efficient resource allocation and long-term prosperity. Environmental sustainability means preserving ecosystem services, biodiversity, and staying within planetary ecological boundaries. Social sustainability means promoting equity, human development, health, education, inclusive social institutions. Which three combines give an energy system, the foundation infrastructure that influences and enables progress across all sustainability dimensions. So whenever we are crafting a green energy and sustainable policy, we have to understand that we have to take care of energy sustainability, which means maintaining productive capacity while ensuring effective resource allocation and long-term prosperity. Environmental sustainability, which talks about preserving ecosystem services, biodiversity, and staying within planetary ecological boundaries. Social sustainability, promoting equity, human development, health, education, inclusive social institutions, which then have a good energy system, which your regulatory bodies do it, foundation infrastructure that influences and enables progress across all sustainable dimensions, which includes economic, environmental, and social. Now, can somebody give me one example under these three heads using your own experience? Economic, what do you mean by economic sustainability? What do you mean by environmental sustainability? And what do you mean by social sustainability? Give me one example under each head.
Sir, for economic sustainability, we can give green financing, sir. Green finance.
Very good. Which thing which I'm going to cover also.
Green finance is
today,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
green finance is very important. So I have already put it in my presentation, but let's
Yes,
see
sir.
when I get time to show you that. Yeah.
Sure, sir.
And what else? Good point. Yeah.
Yes, sir. And environmental sustainability, I think again, green, like we said about greenhouse effects, environmental sustainability. So that may
But
be
any example, like
example.
in Andhra, the Deputy Chief Minister did a very nice thing. In all panchayats, the sustainable energy pound, correct?
Yes, sir.
So if time permits, I'm going to share that. We are developing that case study. So I believe excellent way of water sustainability, especially in that region.
Yes, sir. I could
Because the
agree.
scarce, yeah. So
Promoting electrical vehicles also the
yes,
example of
yes. From giving subsidies, promoting vehicles, very true.
yes, solar energy.
Yes,
This is also
and
an example of sustainable economics.
yes. Now, social sustainability, what will come? Human development, health, education, inclusive social institutions. How will it come?
So I have one example in the social sustainability. Like I have worked on one paper. Like in Chhattisgarh, the minor forest produce collection and processing and the selling part is majorly taken by care by the self-help groups of Chhattisgarh. And it
Excellent.
is supported by the government of Chhattisgarh as well. Tendu leaves, it is basically taken care by the contractors, but rest of the minor forest produce, it's in hand of self-help groups. These poor women, the rural women, they are getting employment. They are forming the groups and getting employed as well through this scheme of government of Chhattisgarh, and it has a national recognition as well.
Excellent. So you make those people who are in that environment to become sustainable and also give them revenues. Like in Madhya Pradesh, they have started, especially in tribal region. You'd be astonished that tribals in Madhya Pradesh are now packing jari booties and other activities for exports. People are coming and allowing them how, like in Orissa, millets. Now, nobody could have heard that a place where people used to eat rats to fill stomach. Now they're developing world-class millets by women self-help group. So these are very interesting things which really help for growth. So the agenda of 21st to contemporary climate action here is in 1992 United Nations Conference on Environment and Development made an agenda 21, a comprehensive blueprint for sustainable development. Energy emerged as a critical theme. Through its centenary became fully recognized only in 2002. So politics is everywhere, right? It took 10 years. World Summit on Sustainable Development today the urgent imperative of climate change mitigation has elevated green energy from one priority among many to an indispensable foundation for achieving United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which called SDG. So SDG got birth from 1992 United Nations conference which happened, which was then implemented in 2002 as a World Summit for Sustainable Development. And then the SDG goals came. And the Paris Agreement ambition to limit global warming to below 2 degrees centigrade above pre-industrial level cannot be realized without rapid, large-scale deployment of renewable energy technologies. So this is a written in stone. And these can only happen when you have economic sustainability, environmental sustainability, and social sustainability. Now, to understand that, there are 4 critical contributions to sustainability. One is driving social economic development. Now, my issue here is this PPT I'll be sharing with you. My humble request here is those faculties who are interested to do case studies on these one or in-depth research, I'll be happy to collaborate with them. Correct. So to Professor Lokesh, I'll be sharing this PPT. So those who are serious, who want to have a case study like one of the ma'am mentioned something, or wants to do empirical or a theoretical research on this, I'll be happy to collaborate. So better if you have some case in your region, so we can really document that very well. Because in India, what has happened here is, like I told you, the example, like why multinational banks are more sustainable than Indian banks. And the reason is very simple. We don't have a law. In Europe, any bank from Europe or from Japan or from Australia, they are legal bound to implement sustainability. They can't do greenwashing. If they do greenwashing, millions and millions of dollars they have to pay. So it's more cheaper to do sustainability in banks rather than do greenwashing. So, but in India, we don't have any law. Now, RBI is thinking, but I don't think so anything will happen, right? Like, for example, if I ask you, why do you pay income tax? Don't pay, no? What will happen? Don't pay income tax, what will happen?
There can be litigation.
Pardon?
It's an offense.
It's a criminal offense, not offense.
Yes.
You'll go to jail. And government is intelligent. First, they cut your TDS, right? So they know your route, and then the income thing goes. So that's a different ballgame. So that's the reason we have to make it as an offense, a criminal offense, not a simple offense, right? So the energy serves the driving social economic development. The energy serves as an essential catalyst for economic activity and human development. Historical evidence demonstrates strong positive correlation between per capital energy consumption, both GDP growth and human development index scores. However, the source of energy fundamentally shape development trajectory and their sustainability. First, energy and economic growth, bi-directional relationship where economic expansion drives energy demand while reliable energy access enable productive economic activity, automation, and modernization. So we'll see that in smart cities, okay? Then energy and human development, access to clean, affordable energy dramatically improve education quality, healthcare delivery, gender equity, and overall quality of life indicators. So that is social sustainability. And then energy employment, like green energy transition creates net positive employment effect, generating 34 million new jobs globally in renewable sector and related industry. That is economic growth, sustainability. So you have both, so all the three. Social is there, you have environmental is there, and as well as you have economic impact, correct? So these all things come. So these are the drive social, economic, environmental effect of sustainability. Then second is expanding energy access to unserved population. In 2009, approximately 1.4 billion people, roughly 20% of the global population, lacked access to electricity. With 85% residing in rural areas disconnected from central grid infrastructure, the Millennium Development Goal of reducing global poverty by 50% required ensuring electric access to 1.2 billion people and modern fuel access to 1.9 billion people. Green energy technologies, particularly decentralized solar photovoltaic system, mini hydropower installation, and sustainable bioenergy offer economic viable pathway for electrifying remote communities without the massive capital investment and required for grid expansion. So we have both solution, decentralized and economic accessibility. So in decentralized solution, you have, unlike fossil fuel infrastructure requiring centralized generation facilities and extensive transmission networks there. So we'll be seeing that in smart cities, correct? In EV, I'm going to show you all those examples, like how decentralized and PPP mode helps you to grow that. And then economic accessibility, rapid declining cost of renewable technology, particularly solar photovoltaic cells. Because if technology reaches the S curve, everything changes, right? So have made green energy increasingly competitive with often cheaper than fossil fuel alternatives. See, nobody used to buy automobile because automobile used to be $2,000. And the horse-drawn carriage was only $400. So only automobile, the industrial revolution 2.0 came only when the cost of automobile got less than the horse-drawn carriage. So the cost of automobile was $293 and the horse-drawn carriage was $400. Then people shifted to automobile. So that's how Industrial Revolution 2.0 came. So if you want to go for a sustainable green sustainability change, we people will only shift. How much time will say, अरे मर जाओगे, temperature बढ़ गया तो खाना नहीं मिलेगा, you will die with food, even if you have crores or $1 billion in your bank account. Still, we will not manage. अभी नहीं देखा, let us forget. Only we will go when it is cheaper. Correct? So that's the interesting part here. So economic accessibility has to be provided. And so off-grid solar system are now provide affordable electricity for millions of previously unserved households, demonstrating our energy access and environmental sustainability are complementary to rather than competing objective. So this is very critical, complementary rather than competing objective. I am board member in multiple utilities firm. So how many of you have solar panel on your house top roof? Anybody wants to raise their hand? How many of you have? Hello. None of you? You had? Can you hear me
Yes,
or
sir.
no?
Yes, sir. No.
Yeah, okay. Means you are hearing me, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are hearing, but we don't have.
It's very scary because I can't see you. So the main issue here is, but if you have a rooftop solar plant, you get subsidy. Madhya Pradesh Pachim Vidyut Sansthan will say we will put it, and you can get the electricity at very low price, and excess electricity will put in the grid. That is called economic accessibility. The electricity bill in Indore has reduced from 3,400 rupees to 700 rupees for a person who is using solar energy. So very interesting, correct? So therefore, contribution to solar development enhancing national energy security. So energy security ensures reliable, affordable energy supply without disruption and has become a paramount concern for nationwide. And there's a strong correlation between economic growth and energy consumption meant that supply interrupted or price shocks can severely damage national economies. Countries heavily dependent on imported fossil fuels face particularly vulnerabilities to geopolitical tension, supply disruption, and volatile international commodity markets. So, supply chain diversification, domestic resource utilization, and price stability. So, why supply this diversification? These green energy expands the portfolio of available energy source, reducing over reliance on any single fuel type or imported source. Geodiversity of renewable source provides resilient against localized disruption. Domestic resource utilization, unlike concentration fossil fuel reserves, renewable energy potential is distributed globally. Every nation possesses some combination of solar, wind, hydro, biomass sources, correct? And I'll show you what the composition in India. Okay, very interesting composition you will see. And growth also you're going to see. And price stability. Once infrastructure is installed, renewable energy enjoys essential zero fuel costs, providing long-term price certainty. And this contrasts sharply with volatile fossil fuel markets subject to supply disruption, OPEC decision, and geopolitical conflicts. So the mitigation climate change and protecting environment quality. So fossil fuel share is 81%. Emission growth is 1.4% yearly. And emission is 460 million, I've already mentioned to you. So this has to reduce. Then only we can manage the world temperature through climate change. Correct? So we have to have, and other than the environmental thing, there's something called beyond climate. Means green energy environmental advantage exceed well beyond greenhouse gas mitigation. Non-combination renewable technology eliminates air pollution, particularly matter, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxide, mercury. This causes respiratory diseases, cardiovascular problems, and premature mortality, which I just told you that example where I personally saw them. Water consumption for electricity generation drops dramatically when solar and wind replace water-intensive thermal power plant. Ecosystem disruption from resource extraction, transportation, combination waste is substantially reduced. And these multiple environmental benefits creates powerful synergies where climate action simultaneously delivers improved public health, ecosystem protection, and environmental quality. So what I'll do here is I'll stop here. I don't want to do lot of pressure on your head. Okay. Any questions till now, I'll be happy to answer because this navigation, green energy deployment, economic barrier in detail, information technology capability gaps, policy strategies, I'll be sharing in the next session. Okay. And then I'm going to share two examples. One example I'm going to share of EV, as well as I'm going to share the example of, okay, what is this? Sorry. Yeah. What is this?
Hello.
Hello.
जी हरने सर.
So I am happy to any questions. I'm happy to answer. Hello. You all are there?
Any question from any side?
For social sustainability, can we have that NAC? One of the criteria is there, Sergi. Can we add as an example of that? I think one of the best practices, I'm just correlating NAC, there are 7 practices. So we thought of discussing education as one source and environment. So can NAC, one of the criteria will meet this energy resources, social sustainability or whatever we call that.
Yes. It can do that. It can, very good idea. Very good idea, Rajendra.
Yes. Thank you, Sergi.
So what we'll do here is we'll stop here now. I'll share some files with Professor Lokesh. He'll share with you, and then we can, and this PPT also I'll share with you, and we'll discuss in the next session more in depth. Okay. And anybody wants to research on that, I'm happy and open. You have my email address, so anytime you can come and connect with me. Okay. Okay then. Chaliye, take care and happy New Year to all of you, and hope to see you there tomorrow. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a informative and
Thank you.
it is my privilege to express our hearty gratitude to our
Thanks a lot.
esteemed
I'm talking to my
research
colleagues
Very
only. All of
for
my
such an inspiring and enriching session on green energy. Your depth of knowledge and clarity of explanation connect the theory with real-world applications made the session truly impactful. The insights
thank you so
shared
much.
have not only enhanced our understanding but also motivated us to think responsibly towards a sustainable future. We appreciate
Thank you
your
so much.
time and dedication and willingness to share your valuable expertise with us. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Shikha ma'am. We'll meet day after tomorrow then. Yeah. Okay then. Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.